of
Do you
India.
think any of these new age companies that
Yeah.
you see getting listed now, there are so many companies, private startups that have
Yeah.
gone public as well.
Yeah.
Do you see any of those
See,
examples here?
they're all great, entrepreneurs, and they've built great businesses. But it's still what I still think we are doing is cut, copy, paste for the types you're mentioning,
Yeah.
which are coming to market. So a Flipkart would have had copied an Amazon over there, an Ola would have copied an Uber over there, Oyo would have copied an Airbnb over there, and so on. A Zomato already got Meituan and others, for example, in China doing the. So it's great what they're doing, but these are, like I said, we don't own the underlying IP and protocol or the platform.
Yeah.
For example, we build the India stack. It's great what the UPI has done, but what have we done on top of it? Because already it's now Google Pay and others, they control that platform. So if you don't take the whole value stack, you won't get the complete, how do I say, profit pool coming
Yeah.
into your pocket. And we are happy we built, for example, the previous generation built the IT services company. And $250 billion worth of Indian IT exports is equal to oil from Saudi Arabia in terms of actual absolute number of foreign exchange earning. Similarly, the Indian pharmaceutical industry built a large generics business. But in terms of absolute profit, like I said, one Microsoft makes more money than the whole Indian IT sector put together.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thinking which I think, because there's now adequate capital available in India through the VC world, unfortunately, a lot of it still comes from overseas. But I think that's available. B, we need our kids to get a lot more exposed to the world.
Yeah.
And I remember even in the 90s, I had backed a company called Ramco Systems, which was taking on SAP back in the day. And they had the first client server architecture based ERP, whereas SAP was mainframe. But they lost out because they didn't have the feature richness which you need, or the UX experience which ultimately the customers want in those markets, and those investments were not made. Same way, Indian branding companies, if you take the Indian brands, how much have they traveled out? You'll hear of a Bajaj, but it'll be going into a Nigeria or a Sri Lanka or an Indonesia will have TVS, or a Marico will go into Bangladesh, or a Godrej will go into some other emerging markets, because the wherewithal to go and build those brands and invest for the long term may not yet be there. So I think that's number one. Number two, this ease of doing business in India is, I think, a bugbear I hear from most people.
Yeah.
So there was a period where a lot of our startups went overseas to set up. And then a number of them have flipped back, but it's not flipped back for business reason. They're flipped back because the Indian market seems to giving them valuation because they are so rare.
Yeah.
And that's why we call them unicorns, because it's a rare mythical creature. But other than valuation, this is not the market to go and test yourself. Like the IPL became a global thing because you played with the best in the world. And when you beat them there, then you realize I can take on these chaps elsewhere in the world. So you need some version of that, I guess, to happen over here.
Yeah, you're so right, because in the private market world where
Yeah.
I've been an active investor, earlier the conversations used to be that go and register yourselves in Delaware,
Abroad, yeah.
right? And that was well-meaning advice that every VC would tell you. But now the conversations have changed because people are flipping their structures or setting up in Mauritius or Cayman Islands, etc. Because people have realized that listing in the US for Indian companies, you get lost in the
Absolutely. And
noise,
you're too
right?
tiny to get noticed. And here the valuations are, frankly,
Yeah.
you get surprised on the upside over here.